So, yesterday, Rastakan's Rumble, we have seen way more cards of the Rastakan's Rumble, guys, and it is time to do a little bit of a review again. 14 cards have been revealed yesterday in the stream, and from here on, a lot of cards will also be revealed on a daily basis, so we're gonna get a lot of good view on the Rastakan's Rumble and what the expansion will be about. But what I wanna now do is take a little bit of a look at the cards that were revealed yesterday. See what the expansion is about. Some really exciting cards have been revealed yesterday that I'm super hyped for, but I will go over them one by one. And the first one that was revealed was the Ironhide Direhorn. 7 mana, 7/7, overkill, summon a 5/1 Ironhide Runt, a Druid card. So additional big minion here for the Druid, a 7 mana, 7/7 with a quite nice bonus as an overkill as well. I feel overkill on a minion is a little bit weaker itself than when it is played on a spell, as you need to kill off the overkill yourself. Very important to know is when there is an overkill for a minion, it only happens when you make the trade. When your opponent trades into it, the overkill will not happen. So I think it has like some potential, as it is a Druid card and you can play it earlier. But the stat line of the card itself with the 7 mana 7/7 is not that insane. And also considering how good some of the Druid cards are in the higher tier slot of the mana, I think it will be very hard to have like a Druid deck that can play something like this. Of course, you have also some great mechanics where it is a beast, so you can resummon this or get some bonuses on the card. Can be a little bit of that. It's gonna be a very good card in Arena. Cards like this are gonna be very good in Arena, so that's definitely a way to also take a look at the card. But for Constructed, I think it's going to be a little bit hard to make a card like this, Ironhide Direhorn, work. And then next up is a very interesting card, is a neutral legendary of the set, the Oondasta. Oondasta, a 9 mana 7/7, also beast, also having the overkill mechanic. But a very interesting one on this one is, this overkill mechanic is also having rush. And there was one thing that I had really in mind when I first had a look at the overkill mechanic. I was like, well, overkill on itself might be very hard to make work. But if there will be an overkill card that also has the mechanic rush, maybe that's a good way to make a card very strong. And this one definitely has that potential, as it is a 9 mana 7/7. It's a beast itself as well, with an overkill, summon a beast from your hand. When I was thinking of this card, I was directly thinking of the big hunter, the Death Rattle Hunter deck, where you can already play this card and you can already summon this also from your Katrina. Very good card to summon from Katrina. But it also supports when you draw the other beasts on your hand, so you can play this card as well and still summon the very big beast that you have drawn during the game. And summon these out, but also in a combination with Katrina, summon this from Katrina, clear this into another minion, and you summon a big beast also from your hand. I think that's a way where you can make some very big swing mechanics work with this card, and I definitely think that's the way that the most power comes out of the card. There's also some things with Druid, I think, where you can do this. You also have Witching Hours, of course, where you can just keep resummoning this one, what has also some of the strong mechanics. For the rest, this is mainly a card that you want to play in combo decks. I don't think on itself it's a good enough card. There's of course a little, like, if you compare this card to a Katrina, it's way better when you summon a card out of your deck compared to out of your hand. That's just much better. But in a combination, there can be a lot of things where Oondasta, I think, can also make a pretty decent work. So I think it is a pretty decent card here. You cannot see this card get played in every deck, but in Hunter this card has a very good potential. Alright, next up, the Gurubashi Chicken. Well, at least we got chicken with this, I guess. The card I don't think is very playable at all. 1 mana 1/1, I mean, we know how 1 mana 1/1s are. I just compared this like completely to the Angry Chicken, what has like an Enrage of 5 attack. This has an Overkill of 5 attack. I have no idea how you're gonna be able to do an Overkill with a 1 attack minion, but I guess there are ways you can buff this to to do something with it. I mean, we always get a 1 mana 1/1 out of every expansion, so At least it is a cool and a cute card. Of course, there is maybe Deathstalker Rexar. You can like make some ways that you can build towards some nice mechanic with this. So that's a way to do it with Deathstalker Rexar. And yeah, there are cards like Blessing of King, Spiker Steed, guys. But you're not gonna play a chicken to make it work on. Like, also the overkill of 5 attack is kind of cool, but it's not like, whoa, I win the game when I get this overkill. And you have to play a 1-mana 1/1. So yeah, it's a cute card, guys. Let's say it like that. Chicken, chicken, chicken. Next up here is a Paladin card and a Paladin spell. A 7 mana, a new challenger. Discover a 6-cost minion. Summon it with Taunt and Divine Shield. Very interesting card. When you take a first look at this. We have seen also some cards that help towards Paladin spells a little bit. Where you can like change the cost of Paladin spells. What can also be a big influence towards this card. Where you can also grab some more value. But just looking at this card. It kind of feels in the Free from Ember category for me, where you have like a card where you discover a minion, and this one is very interesting as it is discovering a 6-drop, summon it with the Taunt and Divine Shield. When I think about like good 6-drop that you can like kind of summon with it, well, the first one I kind of just directly was thinking about was of course the Bulldofist Ogre, what is like the most neutral 6-drop you can make. Getting a Bulldofist Ogre for 7 mana with Taunt and Divine Shield is definitely a nice thing to do. You have Karen, what is like a very good 6-drop I think to summon. Maybe more 6-drops will also get out of there. What probably makes like the stat line of the 6-drops the best. Not sure if there is like a lot of additional value also towards it being a Paladin card. There is, of course, we can swap the cost with a minion if you... what was the 4-mana card called? But you have a 4-mana card that switches the cost of a Prismatic Lens. What switches the cost of a spell and a minion. So if you play it with that, you have like some very big swings possible. Where if this suddenly becomes like a 2-mana spell and you can discover a 6-mana... minion, if you can make things like that work, it has an even bigger swing potential, and I think that's definitely a thing you have to keep in mind with this card, where if you can like cheat a little bit on this cost of the card, it has even more potential to become very good. Definitely think that this is a card that is going to be a thing that definitely has some potential in Paladin. It's a very solid card. And if there is ways to like even sneak in some more value, like we have seen some very strong spiteful decks that were summoning this cards like this in Priest. If Paladin has any of this potential, it's definitely a card that you would like to play. And here, next up, a very interesting card here. It is the Shaman Legendary Zentimo. 3 mana 1/3. Whenever you target a minion with a spell, it also targets the adjective ones. So very, very interesting card to first take a look at. The stat line of the card is obviously kind of weak, so we don't play this card for the stat line. But the potential where you can also target a minion next to the card make it have a lot of potential. If you play this card and you suddenly play an Unstable Evolution, you Unstable Evolution 3 minions. If you play this and you play like an Earthen Mind, you suddenly play 3 Earthen Might. So this card is very good with like any spells I think you play on your own minions already. Also like Wind Fury, Rockbiter. These kind of cards are very good in this combination. You can also use it as a removal card, of course, where you play like a Hex on a minion and suddenly you play like multiple Hexes. I mainly think that it is a card that you want to play, like, you want to have it as a consistency card, so you definitely play it more in like a mid-range token Shaman. But I think this card is already like having the potential that you can build your deck around it. It definitely has the potential that it's a card that I would say, yeah, this is a card that you might have a reason to just play this archetype. It's definitely a game finisher in that way, where you can like use your combo cards on and you use it on multiple minions. So you kind of have a minion where you can build your own bloodlusty kind of power card. A great thing to also mention is, guys, it's not a battle cry. It's not a battle cry, so you can also use this as a card where you use it. But it also still works the turn after, or the turn after, or the turn after. So, very, very interesting combo card here for the Shaman. You also have like some cool combos maybe with Electra, where you can use that as well to like double the spell and double the spell and then double it on the next minions next to it. So there is a lot of like big combos possible with this card. Very, very cool card. This is definitely a card that you will see play. Definitely a card that people will experiment. And I definitely think it hits the mark of other Shaman cards that currently don't see much play. It's not a card that you play in your current Shutterbox Shaman. No, this is really a mid-range Shaman card. So it's a card that people will try out there. You're gonna try it out with Rock Biter Weapon, Wind Fury, Unstable Evolution, Earth and Might. These are the kind of cards. And maybe we'll even see more in the next cards coming for Shaman. Very cool card. Next up is Mr. Waterboy. What will be an expansion, guys, with just a nice Waterboy here. 2 mana, 2/1, Battle Cry, your next hero power this turn costs 0 mana. To be not confused about this card, guys, this does not make any combo potential of a deck, of a combo deck viable. Your next hero power this turn costs 0, and you pay the 2 mana. So it is not like a combo enabler, as some directly thought about. It doesn't do anything for a combo deck. But it has like a potential where you can use it as a hero power in probably an even deck. And you get a free 2/1 while still using your hero power. What has like some potential. And you can maybe like play it in a more Zooey kind of deck. Where you get yourself a free 2 mana 2/1 where you still use your hero power. And some decks just like to use their hero power. I don't think this card will see much play. I don't think the card has the potential to like that. The swing of this card is not that big as a 2 mana 2/1. So it really needs to be like in a heavy Inspire deck. We will see some Mage cards soon that have like very nice potential, where you really want to use your hero power, but then you just want to use your hero power. Like, I don't see the point why you want to play this card, a 2 mana 2/1, to make it work. So I don't think this is a very, very good card. Okay, guys, and then the card that I am the most excited about. This is the card that I am so happy to see. Like, we have had Ragnaros, guys, of course, for a long time in Hearthstone. And, well, I think a lot of people of us miss some Ragnaros in Hearthstone. And here we go, guys. Janalai the Dragonhawk. 7 mana 4/4. Battle Cry, if your hero power dealt 8 damage this game, summon Ragnaros, the Fire Lord. Ragnaros is back, guys. Ragnaros is back. And not just back in a very good way, because this card is amazing. A 7 mana 4/4, and when you deal 8 damage with your hero power, and you will see soon already, guys, some cards that will even improve the Mage hero power, or that even put more promise into words the hero power, that you will probably be able to just summon this card on curve. Very cool card. Definitely think about Odd Mage around this card, because Odd Mage already deals 2 damage with the hero power, what makes this card even better, and it is an odd card. But this card is amazing. It's a very good card. I'm very convinced that this card will see play in multiple Mage decks. It's already good in a normal Mage deck. Like, summoning Ragnaros has always been good, but this is a way where you summon Ragnaros for 7 mana and you get a 4/4 with it as well. So it's much better than when you will just slam Ragnaros on turn 8 or turn 7. I am very hyped about this card. I am very happy to see this card, and I definitely think the power level is here for the card. I definitely think this is also a card that is going to be very good in Mage. Mage is the deck that really wants to use their hero power a lot. So very, very hyped about this card, and let's move, guys, to some next cards to even talk about more potential with this card. One of the cards is the Spirit of the Dragonhawk, a 2 mana 0/3, stealth for one turn. Your hero power also targets the addictive minions. So a card that if you want hero power used instead of 1 damage will deal 3 damage. It's an kinda of an arcane explosion card that you kinda can use your hero power with. And that definitely has a lot of potential. Like you suddenly make your ping instead of 1 deal 3 minions. Very good card against aggro already. And also great ways that if you can improve your hero power, can even be better. It's definitely a very solid card for a more of a mage that you want to focus your hero power on. But also just having this card and just play it against Odd Pally and you just ping 3 dudes away. Like it's a very good deck also against like some aggro archetypes. So I think this card is very good, and it has the first turn stealth, what is already nice. But also afterwards, like you still have to like be very focused on removing the card. And it still will take like some damage. It's kind of like a shooting star. So if you can improve your hero power towards like better cards, well, then you deal more damage. Talking about upgrading your hero power is here. The Daring Fire Ether. And when I was looking at this card feels amazing to me. This is a card that I will be like, yeah, this is a card that has a lot of potential in Mage. It's a 1 mana 1/1. Your next hero power this turn deals 2 more damage. So you have here a card, what is only 1 mana, that improves your hero power to deal 3 damage. And in Odd Mage, even your hero power deal 4 damage. And if you combined it with the spirit that we just saw, you suddenly deal 3 damage AoE for just 1 hero power. Has a lot of potential in that way. And also, just for Odd Mage, if you want to combine this with the new legendary, you suddenly, guys, are already dealt 3 or 4 damage, and you already summoned half of your Ragnaros. So you see these mage cards already working together. These new mage cards are very built around your hero power. So it's a deck that you really want to focus with removing with your hero power as well. And I'm very excited for this archetype. It's one of the archetypes that I'm actually very excited now already about to play. Very happy to see that there is like a complete new archetype kind of coming into the game. And I also see the potential of it being having a very good power level. So I'm very excited. And this is a card that I don't think we should underrate. It's a very good 1 mana card. Like a 1 mana card with this kind of power is pretty impressive. So very interesting to see how we're gonna turn out and how the mage will turn out to be. Next up are some Warlock cards, and it turns out that Blizzard is not gonna let this card lock go for free, guys. There are more cards coming in for Warlock that are gonna be focused on discarding. And the first one is a 1 mana Shriek. Discard your lowest cost card. Deal 2 damage to all minions. Very interesting card, as it is like actually a discard that for the first time kinda is not random, but you can kinda choose to discard in a little bit of a way. It discards the lowest cost card in your hand. Normally discard was always like kinda random, but now you can play a little bit with the discard. And deal 2 damage to everything, so kind of an AoE card here. Definitely a really solid AoE card for 1 mana. And, well, maybe not a solid card if you just will discard a card. But if there are gonna be some cards that will be rewarding to discard, well, then it suddenly becomes a very good card, I think. And we will see some of these guys. Let's see if the next one is already that. Yes! I think it's very important to first talk about this card before we go towards any other card. It's the legendary. It's the legendary for the Warlock. High Priestess Jeklik. 4 mana 3/4. Taunt Lifesteal. Whenever you discard. Add 2 copies of it to your hand. So, wow, that's a very interesting legendary here for the Warlock, as it is a very rewarding card to discard. You suddenly get 2 High Priestess Jeklik in your hand, and you also are able to play one, but also keep discarding these and get a lot of discard value in that way. We have always had the Silverware Golem being one of the rewarding cards, and also afterwards the Zavas. But there have been very little cards that were rewarding discarding. Always this card was often like, yeah, you just discard a card and that's kind of unfortunate. But now there's actually a card in the game that if you discard it, you actually get benefit out of it. And that's a very, very scary thing, or a very powerful thing. Because now you can suddenly maybe play power cards that have like a payback, but currently the payback is also a reward. So you kind of cheat in the mana by playing an overpowered card a little bit, and you actually suddenly get reward of the discard as well. So that's a very, because that was kind of the thing with the Silverware Golem. It was a very scary card. You got these very high rolling games where suddenly the discards became so good and you had such big swings. Well, this legendary, it definitely has that potential as well. You can now have games that you can swing very hard and that you can get so much value from, and that you don't even have to pay for because the discard just rewards you. I definitely think this legendary is very good. This legendary is very good in a discard deck. The question is, will discard Warlock be a thing? Are we gonna have it? Quest Warlock, discard Warlock, whatever. Is it gonna be a thing? I think this card can definitely put it to that power level. So I'm really excited to see if there is finally, after 2 years, actually becoming a time where, well, maybe discard lock is not the meme anymore, but it's actually a legit deck. Supporting the Warlock archetype of the discard Warlock is the Reckless Diretroll, 3 mana 2/5 taunt, discard your lowest cost card. Again, looking at this card, well, you don't really want to play it. Thinking about this card, that the discard that you make is rewarding, well, why would you not play it 3 mana 2/6 with a rewarding of a discard that is maybe good for you? So, very important to keep having that look a little bit at these cards that, yeah, you don't want to play a 3 mana 2/6 that discards a card. But when the discard is rewarding, this card is amazing. So, it can be a very good card in discard lock. It can be a very good card if you have like certain discards that even reward your archetype. Zavas is already one of them, but also now, as we have seen, the legendary being a very good one. It's very important to see that now we have 2 cards that discard the lowest cost card. And the lowest cost card, if you can guarantee it to be the Zavas, or if you can guarantee it to be the legendary, it can be very good. I think you need to make your discard Warlock then a little bit expensive, because you want these cards to become the cheapest cards. You want your Savas to be the lowest card in your deck, or maybe the legendary to be the lowest card in your deck. So you have to really focus your curve maybe a little bit more expensive, or just kind of play these cards first and then have these cards left in hand. But there is some infinite value now going on in the discard Warlock, and that definitely has a lot of potential for the deck as well. We'll see if it's gonna be a thing. And here, guys, another one also fitting the discard Warlock archetype is the Soulwarden. 6 mana, 6/6. Add 3 random cards you discarded this game to your hand. So, well, even if there won't be now discards being a little bit negative to you guys, you can draw them back. A 6 mana, 6/6 draw 3 is pretty powerful. It's actually very powerful. This card is not only just powerful in discard lock, I think, but this is like in general already like a very strong card. Like even if I will just think about playing a Doomguard and you play this afterwards, like it's a complete refill. Like this card is very strong. Also, if you think about the Solarium, you can kind of tempo play the Solarium just at turn 5 when you have this card in your hand. You just don't play, you even don't play the cards, and then you play this at turn 6, and you suddenly just draw 3. So, there's, like, obviously this card is already very good in discard lock, but this card is having some more potential in not just discard lock. Like, this card is so good that there is more potential maybe possible with this card. A 6 mana 6/6. It's not a bad stat line. It's already a solid stat line for a 6/6. And just drawing 3 together with this card is insane. So, very, very good card. One of the best cards revealed so far. Very good card for Warlock here. And the latest card revealed is for the Warrior. Was just revealed this night. A 3 mana 3/2. So the Smolderthorn Lancer Battle Cry. If you're holding a dragon, destroy a damaged enemy minion. So execute in a card what has a lot of potential, because you can make a lot of big swings with this card possible. It really is a card that you might kind of want to play in more of a tempo warrior deck. But the very interesting thing that is on this card is, of course, if you are holding a dragon. And we have not seen much of the expansion yet. So is this going to be a thing that Blizzard is going to maybe make some cool things for a Dragon Warrior archetype? Dragon Warrior was a thing. It was an archetype that was very strong 2 years ago, where there were where we had a very heavy dragon expansion. There are currently not that many dragons left, so maybe there will be coming more dragons in this expansion. But this is a very good card. 3 mana 3/2. If you're holding a dragon, have an execute. Insane, super good, but super good if you can play a good Dragon Warrior archetype. So we will need some Alexstrasza's champions maybe. We will maybe need some Azure Drakes. We will maybe need some Twilight Guardians, some Curators, some Blackwing Corruptors. Some cards that have been very good in Dragon Warrior before. We need some kind of archetypes, and then this card is amazing. Well, if you don't have much dragons in the collection, well then this will obviously be very weak, because they're currently not getting many dragons played at all in Hearthstone and not in Warrior. So we will need some more dragon support, and then this card can be very good. That was the review for now, guys. 14 cards being revealed. Super exciting cards for Warlock and Mage. The power level is definitely there of the expansion already, with these four, what we have seen so far. So I'm very excited to see what is more. I'm already super hyped for the expansion. I can't wait to play with these cards. The discard Warlock and the Mage, the Ragnaros Mage, makes me already very exciting. So it's gonna be a very cool expansion. Let's see what is all more waiting for us.